Joining me now via Skype from China is Ian Prentice from Technoloy Metals Australia. Ian, great to see you. Thank you so much for taking the time out today.
Thanks, Danielle.
So it's all about vanadium. Some very exciting news just out for you. Your metallurgical testing has produced extremely high purity product you're going to send to offtake partners. Can you tell me all about the testing, all about this latest milestone, what it means?
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, we've run a larger sample through the full process flow sheet to produce a quantity of final product, and this was always part of the plan to get some material to send to potential end users for them to assess the quality for themselves. And we're very, very pleased to have announced this morning that it's come out at 99.53% purity. So that's a fantastic result. Very, very happy about that, and it puts us right up there as one of the highest purity products around at the moment. So, as you say, up here in China at the moment, we've got a conference on over the next couple of days with the vanadium industry. So we'll be talking about what we're doing on the project, and also about this latest announcement with the purity results.
So great news on the testing front. Also at the project, the Gabanintha Vanadium Project here in Australia, some good progress. You've kicked off your DFS, drilling supports the proposed mine plan. Can you tell us all about progress here?
Yeah, so we've been going about 5 or 6 weeks now for the DFS since the kickoff at the end of July. Going along really, really well, making really good progress. Our drilling program, we're sort of 4 or 5 weeks into that now, and we announced last week I guess what we're seeing from a geological point of view from that. So the extension of the ore body at depth has been confirmed. We need the assay data to come, but what we're seeing from the geology is confirming that we've got that down dip extent of the ore body. But also very importantly, what we're seeing in our footwall. So when we're looking at our geotechnical parameters for the pit design, it's as we expected. The rock is very, very competent. So we haven't done all the detailed work yet, and we'll get the results from the geotechnical engineers around all that. But our expectation is that we're going to be able to steepen up our open pit walls materially from what we used in the pre-feasibility study. That's going to flow through to a lower strip ratio, and then ultimately a lower operating cost. So we're really, really pleased with what we're seeing so far. Drilling's ongoing. We've got a diamond rig up there at the moment, another diamond rig arriving later this week, and we'll continue on through the central pit area and onto our southern tenement, and then we'll start to do some product generation drilling. So we're going to do some drilling to collect a really large sample of material that we can put through the process flow sheet at a pilot scale to start generating more material, testing each of the parts of the circuit on a larger scale. So all that work's currently underway.
So it's great news all around operationally for Technoloy Metals Australia, and also on your financial front, I understand great news with the restructure of a royalty. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so there was a 1.5% net profit interest on the northern tenement. So the tenement that covers our north pit, the area that we announced the data from last week. And that's a really key part of our project dynamic. So that's where we're going to start our mining. That's where we've got the shallowest oxidation profile. So the most attractive ore is closest to surface there. So we negotiated and settled an agreement last week to acquire that royalty off the royalty holders. So it just simplifies the ownership structure quite dramatically.
So let's look at the bigger picture, shall we? As you are about to attend this massive global vanadium conference there in China, can you remind our viewers about vanadium as it stands amongst battery metals, its applications, and what do you anticipate to gain from this conference?
Yeah, certainly. So yeah, it is a major conference on the global stage. So particularly all the Chinese players in the industry attend this conference, as well as some of the major sort of offshore vanadium industry participants. So really, really important to be here and to be talking to those groups about our project, but also getting a full understanding of what's happening from their side of the world as well, what's happening from the vanadium side. So as you say, the vanadium redox flow battery, as a stationary storage solution is by far and away the best battery solution for that. And there's certainly a lot of work that's been progressing. We've talked about last time, I think, about the leasing arrangement that the group VRB, Friedland's group, has put in place with one of the major producers here in China to be able to manage the financial side of developing these batteries. So all that work's progressing, and those groups will be here again at this conference, so we'll be able to talk to them about that. But the real thematic at the moment, what's driving the current price where we're sitting around about just under $20 a pound for V205, is on the steel side, and there's changes to the rebar standards here in China, the additional amount of vanadium they need to use in their steel. That's the big driver in the dynamics at the moment. And I guess fortunately for companies like ourselves, there's just this emerging and growing gap between the supply and demand. So the demand picture just keeps on increasing all the time, and there's just not a lot of new production coming on to fill that gap. And that's where obviously we're very excited about that opportunity as we progress into our feasibility study.
So last question, Ian, what are those next steps in terms of mining, test work, offtakes? What are your investors meant to stay tuned for?
Yeah, certainly. So the next round of, I guess as I mentioned earlier, we're well and truly into the drilling program. So we're going to have some flow of assay data, some geotechnical data that will be coming out shortly. We'll be able to update the market in the not too distant future about what we're seeing in the central pit area from the drilling that we're doing. So really key is that our current pit designs that we have in the pre-feasibility study are limited by drilling. So there's no drilling below the base of those design pits. So we've now fixed that in the north pit. We've now got drilling below that, which we announced last week, which has confirmed the mineralisation extends. We're now doing that work in the central pit, so we'll be able to announce that in the not too distant future. As I say, the collection of this bulk sample, ongoing metallurgical test work, and then the bigger picture from the project development side is our ongoing discussions with potential offtake partners. How we progress those and where we get to a point where we start to formalise those relationships.
Well, Ian, thank you very much for updating us across the works of Technology Metals Australia today. A lot of action for you hopefully means an interview for us soon. See you again.
Thanks, Danielle.